Great. I want to thank you all for coming. And why don't we go ahead and get started? I'm Chip Shearer from the University of New Mexico and the science lead for the Casa Moon node and the Casa Moon node and the space science, the Sustainable Space Research Grand Challenge from UNM are hosting you at this meeting. We have a wide range, thanks to the program committee and you submitting abstracts, we have a really wide range of themes tied to exploration and science that I think you'll all find very intriguing and intellectually satisfying. Hopefully you'll all enjoy all these activities because they're really varied. We started this on Saturday with a teacher outreach program, a field trip on Sunday, the welcome party last night, and so this is really kicking off the science portion of the meeting. This is a great time to rekindle friendships and also start friendships that really could last a lifetime. I have mates here that are sisters and brothers to me, and it's always great to see them and visit with them every time I meet them, but especially at this sort of meeting. I'd like to thank everybody who's responsible for organizing this meeting. This includes the program committee, all the survey group. They've been just obviously really instrumental in piecing this whole thing together. UNM students, UNM staff, and the UNM sub-staff who have been just great working with them and interacting with them. But most of all, I'd like to thank Beth Haw, who was just really great in terms of when I was panicking, she said, "Chip, don't worry about it, I'll take care of it." And it's been really great. Also, what I'd like to do is thank some of the sponsors. Those include, again, NASA, Survey, Casa Moon, the Sustainable Space Research Grand Challenge, the IOM, and also Los Alamos National Labs. And those of you who are interested in internships or exploring employment opportunities, there will be a little table out here outlining some of the opportunities at Los Alamos National Lab. And they have a very great Earth and space program that you could very easily fit into. Also, what I'd like to do is thank the band from the Peaks, who music you listened to last night. They wrote, produced, and played all of that music, and one of their songs is just so inspiring. It's called Artemis. And if you haven't heard it, you can probably find it online. Check with Lars Borg, he'll give you specifics. Also, I want to thank the Arts Lab and the UNM Fine Arts Museum for their exhibit last night. This is our effort, the music, the art, to reach out to a much broader community within New Mexico and make the reason for going into space key for everybody and get everybody involved in that great adventure. Also, I just wanted to emphasize to you, we have a lot of UNM staff people who are trying to make you comfortable here and feed you and provide you with necessities. And please just be kind to them. They really work hard and they would really like your support. In terms of safety, remember you're at fairly high altitudes and it'll be kind of hot out there at times, on the order of 90 to 100 degrees. I think today it may be 94. Hydrate and keep out of the sun. Also, in most large cities, there's always a safety factor, so be always conscious with regards to your surroundings. And then finally, with regards to food and culinary restaurants that you see here, the food in New Mexico is traditionally rather spicy. And you will be, as you saw last night, some of you saw last night, and you will be maybe confounded by the question that is often asked, red or green? And that just refers to the chili, whether you want green chili or red chili, but there are alternatives. You can also say, if your taste buds aren't used to something really spicy, you can have it on the side and then add it as you wish. Or you can do Christmas, which is red and green. So, you have lots of options here in New Mexico. I love New Mexico. I've been here for 35 years. I know I'm not a native, but it's a wonderful place to live in. And hopefully you'll have at least some time to appreciate New Mexico's beauty, both scenic, but also geological beauty that's here. It's so varied. And also the cultural diversity, which is really key and important to New Mexico and New Mexicans. So please really have a fun time with that. Also, I just wanted to give you a heads up that the Meteorite Museum is open from noon to 2 the next 3 days. So if you want to take off and go to the museum over lunchtime, it will be open for you. So it's a fantastic collection, and it's one of the finest in the United States at a university. What I'd like to do now, I've given you my Casa Moon welcome. What I'd like to do now is introduce Barbara Rodriguez, who is the interim provost and the executive vice president of academic affairs. And she's going to give you the UNM campus welcome. Barbara?
Good morning, everyone. This is the first I've heard about last night's party. What's up with that, Chip? In all seriousness, though, it's truly an honor to welcome you to this year's NASA Exploration Forum. This event celebrates the boundless nature of human exploration, an endeavor that begins with curiosity and is fueled by the limitless spirit of discovery. It's a privilege to help launch a gathering that brings together scientists, engineers, students, artists, and explorers, each contributing to our shared journey into space. The forum is a unique convergence of disciplines and perspectives. You'll find cutting-edge research, visionary ideas, and even moon-themed art created by our very own UNM students. It's a reminder that exploration is not just scientific, it's also deeply creative and human. We're especially proud to host this event at UNM, home to Casa Moon, our planetary exploration center of excellence, and a key part of our grand challenges in sustainable space research. These initiatives reflect our commitment to advancing knowledge and preparing the next generation of space leaders. For our students, this forum is more than a conference, it's a gateway. Imagine being a 20-year-old undergraduate, perhaps the first in your family to attend college, coming from a small town in rural New Mexico. That describes me. And you walk into this space filled with experts, astronauts, and fellow dreamers. It might feel overwhelming, but it could also be life-changing. Maybe you strike up a conversation with a student who shares your passion. Maybe you meet a professor who becomes your mentor. Or maybe, just maybe, you shake hands with a NASA astronaut. These are the moments that spark inspiration, build confidence, and shape futures. From the precision of transmission electron microscopy used to study lunar samples, to informal breakfasts where students can connect with leaders in the space industry, this forum offers something for everyone, even those just beginning to look up at the stars. A heartfelt thank you to Chip Shearer, the Grand Challenges team, and everyone who worked tirelessly to bring this event to UNM. Their efforts are helping to shape the future of space exploration. Before we begin today's activities, I'd like to leave you with the words of President John F. Kennedy, spoken in 1962 at Rice University, at a time when the United States was striving to catch up in the space race. He said, "We meet at a college noted for knowledge, in a city rooted for progress, in a state noted for strength. We stand in need of all three, for we meet in an hour of change and challenge, in a decade of hope and fear, in an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds." Though spoken in another time and place, those words still resonate, especially in Albuquerque in 2025. And of course, the challenge President Kennedy issued that day to land a man on the moon before the decade's end was met just over 56 years ago on July 20th, 1969. What can we learn from that journey? That with vision, perseverance, and collaboration, we can overcome any obstacle. We can reach the moon and beyond. Thank you for being here, for your passion, and for your contributions to the science and art of space exploration. UNM is incredibly proud to host you. And finally, my response to the state's question is always Christmas. Welcome.
Next on our list of speakers to welcome you is Greg Schmidt, our director of the survey. Greg?
Well, Barbara, wow. Wow. That is the best welcome by a senior university administrator that I have ever heard at any meeting. So thank you. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure inspired. So fabulous. And Chip, thank you for your words as well. And huge thanks to you, University of New Mexico, for hosting this. Kristina had this and I had this idea, but we thought, my gosh, Chip is just getting his team started and going and everything. Is he going to say yes? And he had to think about it a little bit, but thank goodness he did. This is just no place better right now to host this than right here at University of New Mexico. So we're really, really proud to do that. And I really resonated with the words deeply creative and human that you use, because that's what this group is about. We regularly get feedback about this forum. A lot of times people say it's their favorite meeting, period, bar none. And we, Kristina and I, want to keep it that way. We made a decision several years ago to move from the meetings cradle, which was at NASA Ames Research Center, and I thought, we really need to give this back to the community, and that's why we decided to have this hosted. And we're just so fortunate to have had a number of PIs now, Chip this time, but others before, willing to do this. And so I can't thank you all enough, and I think that it's achieved some great things because of that. So I want to thank University of New Mexico. I want to thank my survey team. We'll, at the end, we always like to thank everyone individually, and we'll certainly do that. Kristina and I set the tone and everything. They're the ones. I'm looking over at Ricky here, but so many others who you'll meet that really run things. So I want to start off by saying something that we're all aware. The world's a different place now than it was a year ago. What we have is each other, and what we also have is, and I just talked about this, Jake Bleacher and I just talked about this at the student breakfast. We are still very much planning to return to the moon. And I think that there's a huge reason for excitement there. I just met with Lori Glaze a couple of months ago, who has had this skyrocket of a career. She was director of Planetary when we first knew each other, and she is now acting director of human exploration. So the whole going to Moon and Mars thing, is under her, and she deeply cares about this institute and about this community. She really regrets that she's not able to attend this time. There's some major budget stuff going on. No surprise, but I know that she, and I also spoke with Louise Proctor, who is the head of Planetary, and I believe we're going to be hearing from her still tomorrow. But anyway, they're super supportive of Survey and of this entire community. So that has not changed, not one iota. I always like to say it's great to see young people here. From my perspective, just about everyone is young. So next generation is everyone under the age of 55 or so. But it's just fantastic to see all of you who are starting your careers. I just said in the student breakfast how this was a big part of our charter when we started this institute just a little over 17 years ago, was growing the community. Because at the time, there were a handful of young people. There were very few mid-careers, and there were a lot of older people, and so we really wanted to invest in the young people, and I think that arguably we've done great at that, we and our partners. So I wanted to mention a handful of other things. Regardless of executive orders, we wanted very much to make this meeting accessible to everyone. I listened to we had a neurodiverse group, that was at the student lunch last year, and we listened, and so we've done a couple of things. We've followed the recommendations on fonts that are easier to read, and then we have a quiet room as well. I don't know exactly where that is, but you can just go up to the front desk, where we ask that no talking or anything, and for people that need it, we wanted to accommodate you. So we're proud to do that, and we want to listen to how we can improve things for the future. I wanted to share a little bit of news. I know a lot of you have heard this. Last year, the entire Survey team were really privileged to go down to Mazatlan. And on April 8th, we witnessed one of nature's true spectacular events, total solar eclipse. Brian Day and I have been, being amateur astronomers, have been doing this for decades, but this time we decided to bring our whole team, and we decided to integrate with the overall NASA effort. And this was the biggest outreach effort that NASA has ever done, and that is saying a lot. Literally tens of millions of people were involved in this, witnessed the feed that we sent from Mazatlan. Incredibly proud about that. So where I'm going with this is just a handful of weeks ago, Kristina and I were at the European Lunar Symposium in Germany. We found out some rather jaw-dropping news that was on none of our bucket lists, that we, as part of the overall NASA team, had won an Emmy for live news coverage. And what the freaking heck? Thank you. Thank you. You know, and our tech team is the best, period, bar none. And they, with a lot of help from management and others, made it happen. We also reached out to thousands of people in Mazatlan, and I'm just incredibly proud of the team. And yes, I did order a statuette. You know, figured it was my one lifetime opportunity for that, right? I want to say also, we're always trying, you know, you've heard me say this for many, many years. We always try to stay on the cutting edge at Survey. We were experienced in the virtual end of things. The whole VI part is Virtual Institute, right? We were good at this prior to the pandemic. And so we were able to leverage those skills coming into the pandemic and help organizations like Planetary Science. I remember talking with Lori Glaze, then head of Planetary Science, saying, Lori, we won't charge a dime for it. We are already paying us. Let us help, you know. And so we were able to, with a lot of planetary meetings, and I'm intensely proud of what our team was able to do. And so, so now virtual communications is kind of everyone's, daily thing. We perhaps have a little bit too much of that sometimes, right? So we've diverted our focus a little bit, and we've been looking into AI, which I'm sure a lot of you use. I use on a daily basis. Number one, we're developing a large language model to help bridge between science and exploration. Ashkan and our team is working this, and we're working with some people at JSC to come up with questions for this LLM, and the whole idea is to have people have the most recent papers in our science, and our teams come up with some jaw-dropping papers, every month, every week sometimes, and have those immediately accessible to human exploration. So it's an experiment. We'll see if it works, but I'm positive on it. And then another thing that you'll see today, tomorrow, and Thursday is we're doing another experiment, and Ashkan, again on our team, has developed an AI tool for conference feedback. And so what we're going to ask you to do, we'll display a QR code towards the end of the day. What we're going to ask you to do is, as many of you as are willing, is to go to this, and it'll ask you questions, and the subsequent questions that it asks after the first one or two are going to be based on the answers that you give. So it'll be more like a person interviewing you than a standard SurveyMonkey tool. We are going to do that as well, because like I say, this is an experiment. We'll see how well it works. But Kristina and I tried this, and we're optimistic. So I think that what we want to do is keep on the edge and also respond to you. We deeply care about how this experience is working for all of you, and what we can do to change it. And when I say we, I'm actually in this case not meaning myself, because I'm going to be retiring very soon, and I had planned to retire this year anyway. I was going to go on phased retirement and then help in selecting my successor. As you know, the federal government has a hiring freeze. We have no idea when that is going to be lifted. But then when I thought about it, with the coming cuts in NASA's budget, those are under discussion, of course, and the possibility of a RIF, I thought, if I leave, that means one fewer young person is going to have to leave, and so that was really the thing that made my decision. But I'm going to stay involved with the community, and unlike a lot of senior people like myself that are leaving with no idea who is going to replace them, I feel incredibly lucky that I have someone who is going to serve first as acting director and then perhaps permanent director, and that's Kristina Gibbs. And so you all know her well. She's ready for this task, and like I say, I feel just incredibly lucky that she's here and is willing to do that. I do want to keep in touch with all of you. I've mentioned to a handful of you that I plan to start a non-profit on some of the things that we've been doing that I care about deeply. And so please, if you want to stay in touch with me as well, ask me for my personal contact information. My NASA email won't be good after August 1st. Happy to share it with you. If you think of this later and haven't gotten it, just contact Kristina, and she'll be able to get it. But I would like to now introduce the current deputy and soon-to-be acting director of Survey, Kristina Gibbs. Thanks very much.
All right. Well, thank you all for being here. It's wonderful to see the room so full. And to welcome you, myself. I am really looking forward to the opportunity to work with all of you over the next several months as we continue the mission of Survey. We support exploration science. We have a clear mission, and we are going to keep doing that until they yank me off stage, really. We want to continue to support our teams, the community, the students, and getting the exploration science into the hands of the people at headquarters, the engineers at our centers, and into industry so that we can further the goals. People can understand the environments that they need to be operating in, and so that will all be continuing over the next several months. So I do need your help, whether you're on a team or whether you're in the community. Please do reach out to me with ideas, concerns, and we will do our best to handle all of that. So with that, I know we're starting to run a little bit late already. I just want to make a few announcements, highlight a few things. I honestly don't know if the networking session is full for lunch today, but our team out at the registration desk can tell you. So if you haven't signed up for it, whether you're a student or professional, we welcome everyone. We do have a limit based on the room size, but please join us if you haven't signed up already. And there will be food there for that. Otherwise, lunch is off-site or I guess on this floor. We also have the student lightning talks today, so please do come listen to them. They're competing and for awards, and we would love for you guys to visit them at the poster session. Also, we're doing the same thing with the virtual posters this year. We're trying it again. We were a little late getting started last year and not as many showed up. It either means it doesn't work or it means they gave up because we didn't get there in time. But bring your phone, bring some earbuds or headphones, and we really want you to engage with people who are virtual. It is in our name. We are a virtual institute, and we want to try and continue to connect people. And we will be handing out the Shoemaker Award today, so I'm very excited about that. And just a couple more things. I'm going to keep going. The program is now customizable. You can set favorites and things that you don't want to forget about. It is device dependent. So if you set it up on your phone, it's not going to port to your computer. We're not doing a login, so it doesn't know who you are, but you can highlight by saving and bookmarking on the phone or the computer. And so give that a try. Give us some feedback. This is something that our team developed. It's something that Greg has wanted for a long time so people could highlight it. And so we'd love your feedback on that in addition to the virtual or the AI survey. Wi-Fi, I'm guessing most of you have found it, but there's no password, so you just connect. And so you'll be able to get online. And posters, if you're doing a poster, you can post them today The poster boards are supposed to be set up. Again, I haven't made it in there, but they are. Thank you. And you need to take them down after the poster session. We do not have the room on Thursday. So just some motherhood things while I'm up here, but we want to get started with our session.